I guess the first question is why the remembrance and why with the bells? And to me, a couple things. January 8th is a day that we need to remember, and there's a lot that we need to remember about it. The first folks that I want us all to remember, of course, are the people who passed away, their families, those who were injured, their families. I think we also always need to remember our first responders, the folks who came out there. There were multiple forces that worked together and coordinated together, and there would have been a lot more lives lost if they hadn't have been there in the way they were. And then, of course, the medical staffs. But we also need to remember the way our community came together across this country. We are known for the way we came together, and it reflects a great deal about the good of our community. And then finally, we need to remember all of the folks, not just these folks, who are murdered every day by gun violence, who are damaged in some way by mental illness, and whatever ways we can work together as a community, as a state, as a nation to address those issues. Because last night we watched a movie at the Loft called Remembering 32. 32 college students and professors were murdered at Virginia Tech some years ago in very similar circumstances to what happened here. But at the end of the movie, it also indicated that 32 people were murdered by gun violence every day in this country. So we need to remember that every day in this country, we're essentially having another Virginia Tech. And we need to face that issue. It's not easy. This is not an issue of being against guns. Most of the people in the country who are for gun licensing and gun registration, many of them own guns. This is a question of being real and being responsible and making sure that people who shouldn't have guns, convicted criminals, people that have been certified to be a danger to themselves or others, don't have guns. And I was looking at a few other numbers in the states where there have been fixing of the gun loopholes, the reduction in violence against, in domestic violence with intimate partners, against police officers, and in suicides, most of all, have been dramatically reduced. So the best way I can remember is with bells. It's a meditative act. It's something that rings into your system. And Ross Zimmerman is with us today, Gabe's dad, and we're not going to forget. None of us are going to forget, and hopefully good comes out of it. So,
while you were ringing the bell, what thoughts were going through your head? You could see you were contemplating what you were doing there. What was going through your head? What were you thinking?
I thought about a number of the folks that I knew who passed away. You know, one of the things about that incident for this community is I don't think there were very few, you know, you had a congressman, you had a federal judge, you had a congressional aide. One of the older woman, Phyllis Schneck, who was murdered, was a client of mine. And I don't think there's anybody who didn't know somebody there. We're a big little community, and that just reflected it. So I was thinking, as I would ring a bell, I would think of some of the folks that I knew. I was thinking about, where I was on January 8th when I got the news. And I was thinking about just steeling up my resolve for what we need to do going forward.